Hello all. So today I'm talking about a Toyota with the P0345 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. So what is a Toyota P0345 code? Well, it's a camshaft position sensor A circuit bank 2. Well, the onboard computer uses the camshaft position sensor to know the location of the camshaft as it spins. It uses this for timing. And it's seen error inside the circuit, so it has to be troubleshooted to know why. And so there's going to be two main causes of this. It's going to be either a bad camshaft position sensor or in the wiring. So both will have to be troubleshooted to know why. And most people would go ahead and just swap out the camshaft position sensor since it's a low-cost part, and then if that doesn't work, they come back and troubleshoot the wiring. But the wiring is not difficult to troubleshoot once you understand what's going on with it. And inside of older Toyotas, they would have 2 wires going to the camshaft position sensor, and inside of newer ones, they could have 4 sometimes. But by far, the most common is 3 wires. And what's going on with these is that one, usually the center one, will be ground, and one of the outer ones will have voltage going to it to power the plug when the key gets to the on position. And so what you do is you take a meter, you turn the key to the on position, you go from the center plug to one of the outer pins, and you should be getting voltage. The voltage can vary. You'll need schematics for your particular engine and year and all that, but it'll be like 5 volts, 8 volts, or 12 volts. It'll just be steady voltage called VCC that's always on, and it's powering the circuit. And the other wire is a signal wire that's going back to the onboard computer, and every single time a piece of metal is directly in front of the sensor, it sends a 5-volt pulse back to the onboard computer. And so what many mechanics will do is they'll take this plug off, they'll plug it into a known good sensor, they'll go from ground to the signal wire, and then they'll put a piece of metal in front of the sensor, and if it goes from 0 to 5 volts, then they know the whole circuit's working. And that's a real quick common way to test the whole circuit. There's a lot of YouTube videos on that if you want to check it out. And one thing to mention is that if this plug is not getting no power, so if you go from ground to one of these outer pins and you're not getting no voltage when the key's in the on position, it very likely is going to be a fuse. And the fuse where it's located is usually inside the engine compartment. It would be a fuse box. Sometimes it could be up underneath the dash, but it's usually inside the fuse compartment. Like right here, it's labeled AM2 fuse. And just look inside there, and it can be different depending on the year and the Toyota and the model of the Toyota and all this. So you might have to Google it to find the exact fuse, but the circuit should be on a fuse, and if this fuse blows, you won't get no power to it. So keep that in mind. And there could also be an open in the wire, but it's very common that fuse blows. And so if you check out the wiring and all that looks good, and there's no blown fuse or anything like that, then it will be time to replace the sensor. And the sensor is a low-cost part. I'll jump over on Amazon and give you an idea how much they cost. They're ranging around $15, $20, $30. There's one for $87. They're not high-cost items or nothing. They're usually low-cost parts. And replacing the sensor on a Toyota is usually an easy task. Usually they're located right on the top somewhere. And while many Toyotas only have 1 sensor, there can be 2 sensors. And since this code says sensor A, it very likely is going to have 2 sensors on your vehicle. So the first thing to do is Google where these sensors are located and find out where the sensor A is. And that's the one that you're going to have to replace, since that's the one that the onboard computer is seeing an issue with. Now, many people just go in and replace both. Sometimes they could have issues finding out which one's sensor A if there is 2 sensors. So they just go in and replace both since they're low-cost parts. But however you want to do it, the onboard computer is seeing a problem with that sensor A, so that's the one that needs to be replaced. And so that's basically it. I just wanted to give a real quick brief overview of how you go about fixing a Toyota with the P0345 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.